Hello everypony, my name is Moonlight Quill, and welcome to my studio. Fame and Misfortune. What a nice episode. Really good. Wasn't one of the best, but it wasn't bad. Okay, episode is all about Twilight wanting to release her journal as an actual novel to all of Equestria, so that way they can try to learn exactly the lessons that her and her friends have learned throughout the years, to see if it can help them with their friendship problems after seeing two fillies having some issues with each other and no longer being friends at time to time again. But really, reading through the journal is what inspired them to make their friendship closer, and it's what inspired Twilight to want to share it to the world. So, the unfortunate thing here is that it completely backfired and went into a very, very different direction. Like, it went both bad and overdoing the goodness, I guess you could call it, but, you know, this is actually a great example of how some, not all, fandoms are in the way they interpret a lot of things about the show. The show is supposed to be interpreting something different, but the fandom doesn't seem to think so, or they over-criticize it. Now, I know this does really relate to our fandom, but without pointing fingers, I have seen fandoms, other ones, including this one, where people really interpret or take some episodes or whatever the debate is about too seriously. Like, for example, some people seem to really take it too seriously about how a character is treated or how the path of another character goes. It really depends. Because me personally, I totally can understand it, even if it is a bit disappointing, but, you know, what can you do? It's not your story, it's not your idea, and besides, what's there to get so upset about? It's literally just a show, really. That's all it comes down to in the end, just like our beloved My Little Pony show. So, I wonder if they made this episode to really have us look at ourselves in the mirror and really show us exactly what they see in us, with not all of us, but, you know, the critics who really overdo the criticism, because there's really no need for all this criticism on little silly things. Now, I'm not saying criticism shouldn't exist, because it should, because without, you know, like what the episode's moral is, without having mistakes, you can't make anything happen correctly. So, but it really shows how badly others can overdo it, because there's really no reason to overdo a very particular subject. And you know, that's what we really need to get over and understand, is that there are just some things in this world that you got to accept, no matter whether you like it or not. Fact's a fact. But that also causes arguments. So I beg to wonder, how could we fix this and get along? Well, take this episode's moral, for example. You gotta accept your failures. You got to understand that no matter how many mistakes you make in life, you gotta face them, and you gotta learn to get over them. Now, this is a lesson that I certainly had to take into consideration for myself, which I have done. And, you know, looking at this episode is, well, me looking at, well, just myself in a way, because, well, it's a lesson I had to learn. I have lost friends in the past, but after losing those great friends, it really got me to understanding, you know, my mistakes and how I need to learn from them for a change and really move on. And this is what the episode really teaches this time around. Really nice lesson. You know, I really appreciate them making such an episode like this, because it's literally, like I said, we're looking in the mirror at each other, and we get to see, you know, what they see in us. And who knows, maybe this episode really did help a lot of people, or I hope so. It was certainly a lot of fun to watch. Like, I really love all these OCs I'm seeing. Now, I don't think they're OCs, but there's certainly a lot better background ponies than all the ones we've seen in the past, which were just a bunch of duplicates, which I'm not trying to complain about or anything, because, well, those were earlier seasons and the series of MLP wasn't as big back then. Well, anyways, I just got to say, I can't help but admire how amazing some of these designs are. I mean, just look at these. They are amazing. The colors, the design, heck, even the voice acting is pretty solid. We are actually seeing a nice mix of stallions and mares, because Remember back in the day when it used to be mostly mares? I mean, not that I didn't like it, it's just gotten me to wonder, isn't this supposed to be a normal society where we have exact amount of genders? Without trying to get into that subject too much, I just gotta say, they have gotten so amazing with the designs of background ponies and how much action and, how lively Ponyville and all of Equestria has become through this time. So, any final thoughts on this episode? Well, let me say, I love how the fact that this episode really shows that you can't let these little silly issues get to the best of you, because it doesn't go anywhere. You're just running in circles over a dumb argument that you can easily ignore or get over. And for others that need to move on and accept the fact that problems are just going to happen no matter how many times you try not to make mistakes. I really like that because, a lot of us need to learn that, myself included, which I have done so. And I sure hope a lot of others in the future get to do so too. This episode, I give it a nice rating out of 7 out of 10. Wasn't super memorable, but it certainly had some nice animation, bright and colorful characters, and it certainly had a very nice morale that a lot of us can relate to, I'm sure of it. So I hope every one of you pony really likes this episode too. Feel free to share all your thoughts and opinions and criticism below. Share me what you got. Well, every pony, this is all I have for now. This is Moonlight Quill, and thank you for joining me today.